5 million. We are a trough between two peaks. We tend to be the most loyal client out there. But we put our vendors through an extraordinary amount of stress before making a decision. We stalk, we don't buy. We are stalking you people out there. Let me see the hands of my Generation Xers in the room if I could today. Keep them up. These tend to be the most cynical, pessimistic, unhappy, and unfriendly people you'll ever find. So that is a sweeping generalization, and I've just put 45 million people into one category, which obviously isn't true. But we were raised in a day where we heard this dude tell us that he was not a crook. Remember that? Heard the dude tell us he did not have the sexual with that woman. Remember that guy? The divorce rates doubled. The latchkey kid syndrome settled in, and we have been raised to become a skeptical consumer of nearly anything. However, due to this skeptical nature, we stalk. And due to our stalking, we unearth everything we can about a product, a service, or a person. And if they match our need, we stay close. The Generation Xer spends 16 hours researching cars before ever test driving. When they show up on the lot, their relationship with the product has begun. He's 16 hours, she's 16 hours into the relationship with the product. The salesperson on the lot is trying to catch up with this point. They're no longer introducing the client, the customer, to the car. They're trying to catch up to the relationship. And my suspicion is the same thing is going on in your marketplace as well. In this amount of time, walking down the aisle, pick it up, and this is the Gen X mother, psycho. She picks it up, she looks at it, she turns it around, she checks it out. 3 minutes, or 3 seconds, maybe 30, and I'll talk about that in a moment. And in that moment, is this going to make me different? Is it going to make my kids different? What's it about the future? How's it going? Where are we going? All this stuff is determined like this. And then into the basket and move on. And it has to be delivered in a very short, clear amount of time. Versus, and you get this, oh, they've been around a while. Oh, look how many they produce. Oh, look at their history. Look at their background. For the boomer, good stuff. In fact, I'd be willing to say, for the baby boomer consumer, getting into that, I'm getting ahead of myself. For the baby boomer consumer, your logo, your brand that they recognize is reason enough. They don't need to read the content. You got them with the brand, with the logo. With the Xer, the millennial, they're going to grab it and they're going to turn it around. What does this mean to me? And it needs to answer these questions here. About X. If you're going to sell to my generation and to me, I want you to list everything you can do for them. All the available options, products, services, everything. When you rifle the approach to the Generation Xer, in other words, when you say, I know exactly what you need. I've seen many people like you just like this. You've got small children, you're doing this, whatever it may be. I know exactly what you need. You need this. When you rifle the approach, the Generation X customer says, is that really what I need, or is that what you're trying to sell me? Is that what I need, or are you going to go see the mouse if you sell me this thing? Huh? You're going to go see Disney if you sell me this. Is this what I need, or is there too much of it in the back, maybe, and you're trying to get rid of excess inventory in a retail space? To the Generation Xer, show options. Here's what we have available. And based on our conversations, you say, here are 3 things that I think would fit for you. Let me explain how they're each different, and you give me some feedback. You teach the consumer with the Generation Xer. With the baby boomer, I'm an expert. I've been doing this 15 years. This is what you need. The boomer says, look at that. You got a wall full of stuff. You are an expert. I'll buy it. With the Generation Xer, here's everything you can buy. Here's what I think you need. Let's talk about these things. Give me some feedback, and we'll go on from there. You're teaching them in the process, and you're teaching them, first, that they're not getting duped, that you really are sincere about this thing. So list the available products. Emphasize short-term solutions. By the end of this meeting, you say, by the end of the week, and I prefer even shorter, by the end of this meeting, let's have agreed to make the following decisions or come to the same conclusions about something. And you set those out, and if you can even write them out and then check them off as you get to them, the cynical Generation X buyer begins to trust your expertise. They said we'd hit the following goals. Look, we're hitting those following goals. Anything you can do to get that Xer to buy into you. And one of them is short-term solutions, hit the goals. Live for the